Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Today, I was fortunate enough to get some jewelry bags. This is a variation on the jewelry jar. And each one of these bags just contains a whole bunch of stuff. Now, it is very important to note that depending on where you are, you may be in a situation where the thrift shops are just overwhelmed. They just have too much of this stuff coming in. And in this case, I know the woman who's sorting this is really good at sorting it. But when you have the sheer volume coming in, even a number of people sorting it, not everything gets caught. When I am finding gold or silver, that's generally what's happening. Is just that things slip between the cracks a little bit just due to sheer volume. So as you can see, there is a lot of it. This is going to be a series of videos. So for a bit here, we will be making videos on all this stuff. I'm going to try to film them as I can. For also those new to the channel, I am a stay-at-home dad, so my children can take a fair bit of my time. So I'm not sure how fast I'm going to be able to get through this. But we will have videos on everything you see here. We'll go through it. We'll explain what we're looking at, and we will learn how to pull out the precious metals and the valuable things from here. All right, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and start grabbing these. I'm going to go with maybe the ones that'll be a little quicker first, because I have limited time right now before the kids have language lessons. So I'm going to start with this one, and we'll see if we can get that all done within one video here. Let me see where I can set these things. All right, without further ado, let's deploy the large shears I have right here. There we go. Now, when you're doing this, there's two indispensable tools. Your loupe, like the ones that are illuminated, a little light, and some strong magnets. The magnets will tell you real quick if something is ferrous. And if something's ferrous, then you know it's plate. Just because it's plate doesn't mean it's not nice necessarily, but it does tell you that it's not going to be, for example, solid gold. So this should all be a bunch of men's jewelry. Oh, and I should note it was half off day, so this was $7. All right, let us just start looking. I want to pair things up if I can, so we're going to try to put everything together that can be put together. Now, the reason that I just set that one over there and I'm dismissing it very quickly is because you see those giant prongs sitting in the stones, and how the stones are a little, not as sparkly as a diamond would be. Let's just put it that way. That's very obvious costume jewelry, and in fact, when we check it with the magnet, we'll see. When you are checking with the magnet, keep in mind that things like a spring will always be magnetic because it's steel, but if you look at the rest of it too, the rest of it's also magnetic. So we know that that's just costume. It's actually pretty good, but it's costume. In fact, we're gonna have to try to organize this fairly well. Oh, look at that! Nice eagle. Looks plated though. Yeah, I've dropped it. I've lost it. We'll find it again, but the reason I dropped it is because it was reacting to the magnet. You can see there. Now, a lot of this men's jewelry, frankly, is plated stuff. You will find gold in it, and I think a lot of people end up like disregarding it because so much of it, like this, you know, the Swank stuff. You can see Swank right there. It's nice, but it's pretty common, and it's generally just like costume. It's not made out of precious metals. Now, Swank will make things out of silver, at least, than in my experience, and that will, but that will be marked as such. That will actually be marked as sterling. Little fishy. You can see the fishy there is magnetic. Nice little tie tack, though. No, Swank. So it might say something inside this also. In this case, it says Swank on the inside there, if you can see. But sometimes the sterling will actually be inside. So let's just keep going. What is that? Oh, that's a boat with an outrigger, looks like. But that does not look like it's... That is just costume. Okay. Let us progress through here. The magnet can really help you go fast with some of this stuff. As you can see, you can just very quickly grab. The magnet will grab things for you. Just verify. Yeah. Interesting. I feel like we found another piece that goes with this in a previous video. I think, who was that? I think Sherry at Blessed Baubles mentioned that that might be something. I'll have to figure out where that piece is and pair it up. But these ones are clearly plate. You can see where the plate is wearing off. Ooh, this is cool. Look at that. Jet turbine. Who made this one? Oh, Balfour. Wow. Oh my. It is a little bit... You can see where it's a little bit magnetic. Pretty dang cool, though. Now, Balfour is a very, very good maker. They make a lot of pins. And the reason that I keep going back to this, well, hope springs eternal that you found gold, right? I mean, gold is the gold standard of treasure hunting. But you definitely don't want to just straight up dismiss something if the magnet's hitting it, because here you can see the magnet isn't hitting that piece, but it was reacting a little bit. You see that? Now it's reacting, and I think it's reacting to this. Maybe. All right, let's just set this down, and we'll see what we get. I don't know. What do you folks think? You seeing anything other than the Balfour on there? Generally, if something's gold, it will say so. However, if something was custom made for somebody, it isn't necessarily marked. And I have seen Balfour pieces that are gold but are not marked as such. Doubt this is gold, but you know what? Maybe we'll test that at the end. We'll set that one aside and test it. If that's gold, that's awesome. And a half. It does have some heft, like a surprising amount of heft. But I would think if it were gold, it would be marked as such. All right. We'll set that into the good stuff pile and keep going. So you can see these are clearly brass probably plated. But these ones, I'd be more inclined to think might be gold over these. You can see this is the old brass that's got some tarnish. And this is clearly plated. But what we'll do is we'll have a look at them. Because remember, we're looking at something that someone has already looked at. So, oh, there we go. 1/40th 10 karat rolled gold plate. So the reason that looked good and plated is because it is rolled gold, which is nice. Those are definitely a step up from the other pieces we've been finding. All right, we'll be pairing these up as we go too. That's kind of funny. Not very high quality. It's in there pretty loose. Or maybe high quality isn't the right way to say it. It's definitely worse for the wear. You know what? What was this thing? The magnet attacked it. I'm not sure. Is that a bookmark? I think that's a bookmark. Okay. Got 2 of those. Those are clearly, yeah, clearly just costume. Oh, look at that. It's another turbine. JT9D. That one is definitely plate. That's cool. Somebody worked on jets. Yeah. Amethyst. Pretty shiny. You'd think it would say something on it. Yeah, I think it's probably just plate, but we can certainly test it easily enough at the end. I think that's, yeah, just costume. Engraved with initials though, RSG, looks like, RSC maybe. Oh look, that goes with those. Ah, and another one of our eagles, or seagulls. Where did we put, there it is. What do we got here? Pocket knife. So, just so you know, they did sometimes make these in gold or silver. I think I've got a couple silver ones around. Imperial stainless. This one is neither. What do we got here? We've got Swank. It'll tell you if it's a precious metal. Magnet hits it, so we know it's not silver. Cleveland. Magnetic, so it's not silver. Three crowns there. It's an interesting piece. I don't quite understand what's going on with it. It seems like it's a little too much for a tie. Ah, doesn't look like it's a precious metal though. Maybe. We'll set it over here. When we get to doing some testing, we'll see. This one's kind of interesting. It's very light. I think it might be broken. Could be silver. It's got some copper coming through, so I don't think so. I think it's just plate. D for don't think it's gold. And a big reason I don't think this is gold is just the quality of that engraving is not high. If you're working with gold, generally you're gonna have someone who's spending a little more care and time on it. When you look at something that's gold and engraved, it's pretty obvious. Oh, I put this one aside because you can see it matches. Speaking of matches, we already have that one over there. Oh, there's another one of those. Put those together. Very cheaply constructed. Oh, look how cheaply constructed that was. My magnet literally ripped it apart. Just set that one up there, shall we? Oh, there's the other one of our little outrigger canoe, looks like. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? Sometimes when they've got less material like that, that means that they made it out of a precious material that they don't want to use a lot of. So bears a closer inspection. In this case, it says Anson, but I don't see it saying sterling anywhere. So I don't think it is. Anson would have told you that it was sterling if it actually was. Nice though. Okay, continue through here real quick. These are both just plate. And most of these cufflinks are. You'll find lots and lots of this stuff around, and a lot of it is very neat. You know, Swank again here. But it is generally not precious metals. Here's a little Shriner tie clip. Looks like it's brass. You can see the brass coming through there. But look at that. Anson. So there we were talking about Anson. Sterling. So we'll have a closer look at that. Well, maybe, I think this is still going to be brass. It looks like it is. But maybe it's just dirty gold. Sometimes that happens. So we'll put that into our test pile, and we will see what we come up with. So we're on the board with some sterling. That is very cheaply made. Screw back. This could be some dirty gold. Pieces like this are real sleepers because they don't really look like gold, but you test them and they're sure enough. So we'll see on that one. It could just be brass, could just be plated. I do not know what that means. These are Union, I think. And I've never found any of these that are gold. Yeah, put that with the other one. Ah, ruptured duck. Someone was honorably discharged from the army. Put that in my collection of those. There are quite a few. These can end up being precious metals. I don't think this one is. Nope. But always double check. There's a lot of these pearl tie tacks out there, and they are sometimes gold or silver. Ones where they actually have something like glued to it can be worth a double check, because sometimes it'll be like an actual bit of gold will be glued to something that is just ferrous. In this case, I don't think that's the case. But here, we're looking again at Turbine Guy. And we're looking again at Balfour. That's kind of got a silver look to it, doesn't it? But it is very magnetic. Now the question is this piece magnetic or is it on something that's magnetic? So we can actually test that piece later. This is interesting. Swank. I don't think I've ever seen Swank that old. That sure looks for all the world like silver, doesn't it? Interesting. Do we see a sterling mark? I don't think I do. But it sure looks like sterling. We'll test that out. I bet that is. And if it is, it's the first piece of Swank sterling I've ever seen that wasn't actually marked as sterling. I think you're starting to see too why I'm quickly going through things. I don't feel like I need to explain all of these. They are fairly obviously plate. After you've been doing this a while, you'll notice that. Now these we're not sure on. I think they're probably plate, but interesting. There's another like that other one that we're going to test. However, I think this is a good example of something. This is a good example of quality because this one is much lower quality than this one. And I think if you look, you can see what I mean. Not just the screw back, but just the quality of what's going on here. So that's a real good example of this one is clearly just plate. The other one is probably like a thicker plate, more, I'm guessing it's probably brass or copper, but it could just be dirty gold, which will happen. But it is higher quality, which is why we're going to want to test it. Oh, Shriner. That is... No. I don't see this one as being gold, but you know what? It is shiny and smooth enough that we will give that one a test. And we'll see. Okay, let's see if we can't get through some of this quick. Swank. That's just... Nope. Nope, clearly plate from the front. That's brass, but it's highly stylized something. It's almost like a super stylized Roadrunner. I like it. If anyone can tell me what that is, leave a comment. Oh, another one. Now this one is also low quality. Let's see real quick. Already seen that. A little higher quality this guy, but I don't think it's anything. You want to look inside there and there. No, that's magnetic, but let's double check it. What does it say? Bob's Booze. All right, I'm gonna check it. All right, so it says Booze or 800S. Now, if it says 800S, that might mean that it is indicating it's silver, but if it's silver, it's weird because it'd be very high nickel content silver. We'll go ahead and throw that in the test pile, just because it does say something that might be silver. Looks like Boy Scouts. Somebody liked golf. RCS, I believe this is the second RCS we found. This is Anson, but it's not very high quality. It wouldn't be gold. Oh, pocket knife. That's a Swank. That doesn't look like anything. That's nothing. All right, last couple pieces. Yep, 2 ferrous. So that one is nothing. And then the last one is this gold walnut. Yep. Okay. And with that, I will come back when I'm set up. And, oh, wait. That's not everything. These are what shirt studs looks like. Yep. We'll put all those back in there. All right, I will come up and I come back and I will set up for testing, and we'll see what our little pile of possible gold and probable silver yield. All right, so we have everything all scratched out here. I don't know if any of these are going to be gold, but you know, I'm pretty sure that one will be silver. Now, this could be gold on here the more I've looked at it. This is, of course, a sterling tie clip, and then the Shriner symbol here does look very much like gold, but I can't figure a way of scratching it on the stone without actually damaging it. I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to basically put that one aside, and I'll see if we can actually maybe at some later date get that tested down at the pawn shop. All right, so let me put that someplace safe for testing. We'll break out some acid here, and we'll see just how much brass we have. I think it's probably all brass. But, you know, we'll find out. So this is 10 karat test acid we're using right here now. You can see things like this little pin, it's going right away there. Weirdly, that's not going away with 10K test acid. I'm not sure what we got going on there, but it looks like everything else is telling us that we've got brass, except for whatever the heck this thing is. It says like a booze or 800S or something. I'm guessing maybe it's whatever makes us super shiny. Is it maybe that's what 10K test acid does to rhodium? I don't know. I feel like 10K test acid should be eating this. Weird. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pause this. I'm going to clean this up. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to clean it up quite yet. I'm going to hit this with 18 karat test acid, which seems to do a better job of giving us a proof positive for silver. If it turns blue, it's silver. Yeah, you can start to see it going blue there. And that, yep, there you go. So this one is silver. So we've got a couple silver, you know, I think, what was this one? I saw at the beginning, this was either $5 or $7, which I feel like we did pretty good with our little bit of silver here. And then some of these are really cool, even if they aren't sterling. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and see what's going on with this particular, whatever this is. We'll scratch it up a little bit more and see if we can figure out what's going on, because the 10K test acid doesn't eat whatever this is, which seems weird to me. All right. Okay. I basically, as you can see, hit the corner there. Didn't expose any other metals, but the bottom one is the first scratch, and that's the second scratch. After, theoretically, I would have gotten to whatever metal is underneath. So we'll hit it with 10 karat here. 10 karat here. And then, I guess, hit it with 14. Well, that's a result now, isn't it? Okie dokie. Where did I set it? I've lost it. I put it there. Okay, so all right, folks, what's going on? Is this a big old chunk of 10 karat gold? It really does seem to say 800S. Or 800 something. All right, that is a new one on me. If anyone in the comments can tell me what on earth we got with this one, I would really appreciate it. I'll do some research too, and if I find anything, I'll definitely add it to the description in the comments. But yeah, this was kind of a weirder one than I expected, because this sure seems like it's 10 karat, doesn't it? Although, what is it doing now? Is part of it going away? Let's hit this side with 10 karat. Maybe we should hit it with the 18 and see if it turns blue. Is it just silver that somehow stands up to 10 karat acid? No, just away it goes. Yeah. Baffled. Folks can tell me what this one is. I'd appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And more importantly, I hope that you can use the information that you got as we went through and figured out what these are to go out and find yourself some treasure. There's a lot of this men's jewelry around, and it is usually pretty cheap because, you know, for the most part, it is what you saw. It's not precious. So there's a lot of opportunity when it is precious because people just don't think that it is. Have yourself a great night.
Like this, I've been comment.